Lux your way with the Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. There's the classic $5 box, the indulgent $7 box, and a whole new obsession in the $9 box, the Flamin' Hot Grilled Cheese Burrito. Try the Lux Cravings boxes at Taco Bell today.
Find your sun with Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea. Made with real iced tea and real vodka. Cold, refreshing, and made for moments like these all year long. Let the good times cruise with Sun Cruiser.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim. It's the only thing like it in the world.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
How's your day going?
Going good. Thank you. Yes.
When I want Boise State to win, I trust Coach Rice to lead the Broncos to victory.
And when I want the best painting and garage floor coating, I trust rowpaint.com to get that job done right.
Really, guys?
What? Jackson's always has those game ready.
Let's go!
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. Game time is approaching, and we're getting you ready with the latest pregame news, interviews, analysis, and more from BNN. BNN broadcasts come from the Sun Cruiser Studios. Sunny days call for Sun Cruiser Vodka Iced Tea, made with real iced tea and real vodka. It's refreshingly smooth and easy to drink. Crack open a Sun Cruiser and let the good times cruise. Have a pregame score prediction or comment? Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise and our major sponsors Jackson's, Taco Bell, Idaho Central Credit Union, rowpaint.com, and the Blue and Orange store. At Lithia Ford of Boise, we're proud to stand with Boise State athletics. Through our NIL marketing partnerships, we're investing in the future of student athletes. Lithia Ford of Boise, here to get you there, wherever that may be. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. Broadcasting from the Sun Cruiser Studios, here's BJ Rains with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News.
Well, 60 years ago, it opened as the Arena Gymnasium, something, and now it's Moby Arena. Boise State will finish the regular season here at Colorado State. We're in Fort Collins, Colorado. Bronco Nation News made the trip over early this morning. Happy to be here, happy to cover Boise State basketball. The final regular season game as the Broncos look to win 5 in a row heading into the Mountain West tournament. My name is BJ Rains, and joined as always by Abe Jackson. You're going to hear him coming up a little less than 30 minutes over on 670 KBOI. Bob Beeler and company on the Bronco Radio Network. And Abe, 1 game to go. Broncos have won 4 in a row, and it would be nice to make it 5.
It would be, and they're playing the best that they have all season long. And, what also helps the Broncos is that we knew that the beginning of their schedule was just brutal with how it started, and now it's kind of eased up a little bit toward the end, and the Broncos have been taking advantage of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But as hot as the Broncos are, Colorado State's even hotter.
Yeah, they are. 7 or 8, I think, in a row? And their schedule has eased up a little bit, too, but they have beat San Diego State, New Mexico, UNLV in this stretch, too. So when you win 8 in a row, it can't be just the bottom, right? That's so many. You had to have to span it across the entire conference. But last year, they won 7 in a row going into the Mountain West tournament, ended up with the 2 seed. Now, they're not going to get the 2 seed this year, but got it last year because of those 7 wins in a row and then end up winning the Mountain West tournament. So I think last year is proof that if you get hot at the right time and really click at the right time, you can make a run.
You see the Broncos, well, you'll see them here in a second. There's the Broncos warming up down on the other end of the floor. Kind of a unique deal. We're in the home whites today, Abe, and they're a little superstitious. Colorado State wanted to wear green on senior night, so Boise State's got the retro Broncos script across the front, the little old school Idaho horse logo shorts. They've won 3 or 4 in a row with them, and they said, hey, can you guys wear white? And they said, heck yeah, we will, and now they're wearing the white today.
Right, that would actually probably be our choice if we could choose.
Yeah, well, they, I guess, asked to wear green or something for their senior day, and Boise State's going with the home white uniforms today. Abe, this 4-game winning streak, I think, the first couple games, or no disrespect, but Fresno was a nice win, but you had a couple wins in there against lower teams in the conference. To get the win over San Diego State, I thought was kind of something that opened a lot of people's eyes. What would you really like about the other night?
Well, they took San Diego State completely out of what they wanted to do, especially in that first half. I mean, I think about the first 10 minutes, I can't think of an actual good look that San Diego State had. I felt like they were going one-on-one, picking up the ball, trying to do fadeaways, the wrong people shooting threes. I mean, the defense was just really there in the second half, or in the first half. And what I like is that the Broncos, yes, they had a monster lead, and it got cut down to 7 at one point, but they held on to the lead. They had a nice, solid win. I mean, San Diego State did make a 3 right at the very end, right? It could have been a 12-point win. Ended up being a 9-point win. But I don't know if the Broncos hold on to that lead maybe 3 weeks ago. But they do now. And I think that's the progress that you've seen with this team. And it's going to be a tough one here against Colorado State. Like you said, maybe one of the hottest teams in the country right now with this win streak.
No doubt. But the Broncos won at Fresno last weekend. They've won at New Mexico. They got a couple nice road wins this year.
They do. Oh, no, they do. And they're playing much better. The defense has really started to come around. They're holding teams to the low 40s. Now, San Diego State got a little hot in the second half, so theirs were in the high 40s. But in about 3 games in a row, Boise State held their opponents to the low 40s, and that's what you need to do with a team that can be kind of streaky offensively like this Bronco team.
He's Abe Jackson. Again, you're going to hear him coming up in about 21 minutes with Bob Beeler on the Bronco Radio Network. He helps us kick off the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show every game here on Bronco Nation News. My name is BJ Rains, and we are live at Moby Arena in Fort Collins, where Abe, Boise State hoping to get another 33-point game, or like they got from Drew Fielder the other night.
Yeah, that would be nice. In the first matchup against Colorado State in Boise, getting to the free throw line and second chance points were huge, and they were huge against San Diego State. I think Fielder, had 16 points from the line just himself?
Yeah.
And so the Colorado State Rams shot an insane percentage from 3, over 50%, and just really knocked down shots. But the Broncos had second chance points, and they got to the line a lot. I think 21 points to 12 were the points from the line differential in that first matchup. So I could see the Broncos doing something like that here again this afternoon, because I really think they have an advantage inside again.
Now, one of the big storylines coming into this game, the final day of the regular season, we had the UNLV going down last night, starting to help us paint the picture a little bit for the seeding here. Boise State is either going to be the 8th seed with a loss. We know that. Boise State loses this game, they're the 8th seed, and that's certainly going to make things tough when you look at a possible path, including Utah State and Grand Canyon. But Utah State and New Mexico play later today. Maybe if New Mexico wins that, you'd rather be in the 8-9. I don't know, but a win today, I personally feel like Utah State's going to win at home.
Yeah, I do too.
And so I think a win today puts you in the 6th seed, and that would be the best spot.
Yep, the 6th seed, and then you'll be playing probably a San Jose State in that first round, and then looking pretty good for the days after that too with who you might match up with. But yeah, it could be anywhere really from the 5 as well. You could get the 5 if I think if Boise State wins and New Mexico beats Utah State, I believe we'll be tied with Nevada, assuming they beat Air Force.
Yeah.
We'll be tied with Nevada, but because the 1 seed then would be New Mexico, Boise State swept New Mexico, so we would be a higher seed than Nevada, and that's why we would be the 6th seed if Utah State won, because Nevada beat Utah State and we got swept by them.
Now, is that something where it's like, you'll find out who you play and worry about that on Wednesday, or are coaches, players going, I'm not saying you're trying to lose, but are there certain teams you're looking at going, man, we would rather play them next week than this team?
Maybe. I think that's more kind of things that we do. I mean, I know that they're all focused on Colorado State, and I think right now with this season, how it's gone, they're just like, we are playing well, so I don't care who it is. Let's put together a great game again against Colorado State and then see if we can take all this momentum, because you take a look at either one of these teams. They're going to be the hottest team going into the Mountain West tournament. Pretty much anybody in the conference, whoever wins this game, Boise State would be on a streak, or Colorado State will continue their long streak. So really, you talk about momentum going into a tournament at the right time of the season. The winner of this, that's going to be huge.
Have you ever seen a year in the conference? I mean, I know San Diego State won the other day. They've still lost 4 of their last 6. You talk about what New Mexico has done. They've lost 2 of their last 3. Utah State, they've lost 3 of their last 4. I mean, the perceived top teams in this conference, I can't ever remember so many of them kind of stumbling down the stretch. And it's a UNLV, a Colorado State, a Boise State, who are the ones sitting there maybe 6, 7, 8. The teams are saying they don't want to play.
No, definitely. I mean, you got the 2 hottest teams in Colorado State and Boise State. You have the hottest player of maybe anybody in the country right now in Gibbs Lawhorn.
30-plus again last night.
Crazy what he's doing. What's that? It's like 5th 30-point game, and he has 1 over 40. So, I mean, it's crazy what he's doing, and that's what you need. You need a guy can do that in the tournament, but it is such a weird season. I mean, take a look at Grand Canyon. They played Boise State twice, and Boise State looks like they couldn't do anything against Grand Canyon. This Colorado State goes into Phoenix, beats Grand Canyon they were short, they're 2 big guys, and still beat the Antelopes. Wyoming goes into Grand Canyon and beats them as well, and Wyoming's sitting at the 4th from the bottom, I think. So, I mean, it's just been a wild season, and really, I think in a season like this, momentum could mean just about as much as anything, because there's not one team that you're like, you know what, they are kind of hands down better. You get momentum, you get confidence, you're clicking at the right time. An 8 seed, a 5 seed, a 6 seed, I think could easily go and win this Mountain West tournament.
Oh, and I think if you just look at player for player, there's no team that's like clearly head and shoulders, no chance better that Boise State could beat when you just go player for player.
I think what you've got to take a look at is the matchups, though. And I know you spoke with the head coach at Wyoming, and he mentioned to you that he hates playing Boise State because they match up horribly. I don't think we match up great with Grand Canyon, with their strong big guys inside. I think we match up really well against New Mexico in San Diego State. So a lot of this seeding really could just kind of come down to luck in who you end up playing, and whether or not is that one of your better matchups, or is it one that you just struggle against for some reason.
You mentioned momentum. A game like today, I mean, certainly you win it. Hottest team in the conference, 5 in a row. You get the seed you want. You go into the tournament. But, I mean, if you lose, do you still grasp on the 4 previous games and you say, oh, well, it was a tough – I mean, maybe we'll see how the game goes if you get blown out or if you lose on a buzzer beater. But what do you make of momentum and this game, and how this game – I know it'll matter for seeding, but just how the team is feeling going into next week?
Well, you're not going to feel good after a loss, but something that this team has done is it's been up and down. I mean, we're on a high right now. We've been there before, and then we've had some really big lows as well. So if there's one thing this team has done, it's been able to, how do you bounce back after a loss? How do you bounce back after maybe a couple losses? So for a Boise State team, if they do lose this, I don't really think you're going to see a downturn. They've had to come back so many times after tough losses this season that I don't really know if that'd be an issue if they lose this one.
All right, we'll get you out of here in a question or two. You'll be on in about 15 minutes with Bob Beal over on 670 KBUI. This matchup, Colorado State. I mean, you mentioned it. Boise State, when they won that first game, Abe, they had lost 4 in a row. I mean, it's that was the kind of – and they were losing in the second half. Like, that was a big game to kind of flip around their season.
Yeah, it really was. And when you take a look at this Colorado State team, you have to talk about three-point shooting. I mean, they're one of the best in the country at three-point shooting when it comes to percentage. But I think where they struggle is inside. I think that Buchanan and Fielder are going to have a pretty big day. They do have Bemba inside, who's a thick body, about 6'8" or so, with some long arms. But other than that, I mean, he can't guard Fielder and Buchanan. And so he's got to guard one of them, and then it's going to be a pretty big step down in who guards the posts.
What about offensively for Colorado State? They come in as the 8th best offense in the country in terms of effective field goal percentage. The number 5 ranked three-point shooting team, almost 40% from three. You saw what their big guy, Kyle Jorgensen, did against New Mexico the other day on the road. Yeah, by the way, they are coming off a huge win at the Pit the other night. What scares you about their offense? How do you see Boise State's defense matching up with their offense?
Well, the defense is going to just have to control the three-point line. I mean, that's what Colorado State is about. It's shooting threes, and they shoot a really good percentage of them, and it's everybody. I mean, Bemba shot, he made like 2 3-pointers all season. I think he made 3 in the Pit against New Mexico. So now, from that game, you got to kind of look at him being a shooter sometimes as well. So everybody has to guard the three. It's not just going to be the guard. It's not just going to be Andrews and Keene guarding people running off screens. You have to guard the bigs as well, especially Jorgensen, pick and pop. So it's going to come up to the three-point defense, the 1 through 5 position for Boise State guarding that line.
What else is a key, Abe Jackson, for us to hopefully be on the postgame here talking about a five-game winning streak?
I think you got to get to the line a lot. You play against a team that shoots threes. If they get a little hot from 3, you have to find a way to keep up with them scoring, and sometimes just making 2-pointers to their threes aren't going to work. So get to the line, have a big discrepancy. It was either 21-11 or 21-12 and made free throws in the first matchup. And that's one thing that really helped the Broncos win that game.
He's Abe Jackson. Again, you'll hear him coming up shortly with Bob Beeler, 670 KBOI, all the radio affiliates of the Bronco Radio Network. It's on the Mountain West Network today, folks. So time up your radio. Listen to the hometown guys on the radio here with your TV, and we appreciate it. We'll talk to you on the postgame show.
All right.
There he is. We appreciate our man Abe Jackson for joining us, one of the greatest shooters in Boise State history, and we are lucky to have him joining us here on Bronco Nation News each and every game. Again, the Broncos leaving the floor. You see them wearing the white home uniforms tonight, the home white uniforms for Boise State, as they got the Bronco script. They got the old school Bronco with the State of Idaho logo. Here comes Javen Buchanan jogging off the court. I know his family's watching. He looks ready to go. Andrew Meadow now leaving the court as well. Dylan Andrews, A.G. Nato getting some final shots up. There's John Buchanan. Saw his son in person the other night. Now he sees him jogging off the floor. Boise State, big one coming up. There's a lot on the line in terms of the seeding. The Broncos, again, likely the 6th seed with a win, likely the 8th seed with a loss. And that's a big difference in who you're going to play. So Broncos have exited the floor here at Moby Arena. Get those score predictions in. Get those comments. And we'll get to them here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Going to hear from Leon Rice momentarily as well. Flew over this morning. Nice flight from Boise. Good old Southwest Airlines got us here safely. Missing my son's opening day baseball game today, so we'll be getting updates during the game on the post-game show. He'll be playing, and then going to hurry back to the Denver airport and fly back home tonight. So down and back. Love this afternoon 2 o'clock game here. Happy to be here. Happy to bring you coverage on Bronco Nation News. Again, you got Bob and Abe here, and you got nobody else when you talk about the local media in Boise. Bronco Nation News, your exclusive home here for the look at warmups and these pregame interviews and this coverage. No other media outlets in Boise made the trip over here to Fort Collins for this one, which, as is the case pretty much for every road game. But Bronco Nation News, happy to be here. Happy to have coverage for you. Hope you'll go subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. Support our efforts. 50% off the annual subscription to BNN right now at BroncoNationNews.com. You can subscribe at BroncoNationNews.com. 50% off our yearly subscription right now at BNN. You can read all of our pregame coverage. Nathan Carroll, Chris Van Sickle's recruiting coverage. Mike Prater has a column up on Drew Fielder and his future at Boise State. So check all that stuff out. We want some score predictions, though. Let us know your Matt Bauscher player of the game, who you got for the Element Fencing defensive player of the game, and where are you watching from? We always like giving the shout-outs, letting you know letting folks know where you're watching from, see who's watching from the furthest away. We always love doing that here on BNN. So plenty to get to here on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Want to thank a few sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch here on social media, and that includes our title sponsor, Lithia Florida Boise. Lithia Florida Boise, online at lithiafordboise.com. New or pre-owned vehicles. My man Thad Oldridge just got his son Alex a truck yesterday over at Lithia Ford. Sent me a text saying great customer service by the staff over there. Jim Sturk and Company, first class. So Thad Oldridge, another happy customer, and his son Alex over at Lithia Florida Boise. Check them out online, lithiafordboise.com. Hey, the Buchanan family says the Sun Cruisers are flowing. We'll have them flowing next week in Vegas. I wish I was with you right now, but we're working. Maybe we can get one at the Denver airport before we fly back tonight if they sell them there. But for sure, at Circa next week, they got Sun Cruisers. We'll be enjoying them at Circa. Reach out to us if you want to get together. Would love to meet some of you guys over at Circa at some point during Mountain West Tournament Week. And your first Sun Cruiser's on me if you come say hello while we're over at Circa for the Mountain West Tournament next week. Sun Cruiser, real iced tea, real vodka. Pick up a Sun Cruiser today. Hey, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. 7 NIL deals on student athletes. That includes Natalie Pasco on the women's team. They kick off the Mountain West Tournament today. Good luck to the Boise State women. They play today in the opening round. And if they're still live on Monday, we'll be down there for BNN to give you coverage of the semifinals and finals on Monday and Tuesday night. Bronco Nation News, full coverage of the Mountain West Tournament coming next week. And it's thank you in part to Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much on every corner, but the easiest is that mobile e-branch online banking right there in your smartphone. Check out Idaho Central Credit Union online at ICCU.com. Hey, if the Broncos get 75 points, you get a 75-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's. Jackson's, join us on the postgame show. We'll have live interviews after the game on the Jackson's postgame show. And if the Broncos get 75, don't forget, you get a 75-cent fountain drink from our friends at Jackson's. Checking the comments here. Preston's got 72-65. D-Ray down there in Florida's got 67-61. 76-62 is Nathaniel's prediction. Tyree says the Broncos will pull away late, 76-67. All right. Let's see what we got here. Our man Uncle Buchanan says the Cruisers are flowing with a stogie in Lafayette, Indiana. All right. I like that. Archie Techt, as always, watching from South Carolina. Appreciate you. Much easier to watch from the East Coast, the afternoon games. I agree. I like these as well. Huge game. Can't be playing Utah State on the second day. Don't disagree. Do not disagree. Do not disagree at all. So let's see what else we got here. If UNM wins, doesn't Boise State take it to 5 see if they win? Yes. Yep. They'll have the tiebreaker over Nevada. We mentioned that. Boise State would be the 5 seed if they win and New Mexico wins. But I don't know if you necessarily want the 5 seed. Mark Carringer says, watching from Las Vegas, getting ready to go watch the ladies. All right. I think that game's at 3:30 Mountain Time. He's smoking a nub by Olivia. All right. Like the style there. Crash says, hate to say it, but I think we lose this one. Well, I mean, you're not going out on a huge limb. Colorado State is favored by 2, I believe, in this game. To be honest, I was surprised it was a little lower. I was expecting Colorado State to maybe be a 5-6 point favorite, to seem only favored by 1.5 or 2. That did surprise me a little bit. It's Liam 30 watching from the living room. All right. Dale Bingo, Boise L incoming, Leon Rice special. So a road game when you're supposed to lose, and you do lose, that would be called the Leon Rice special, I guess. Not sure what Dale's getting at there. Jumping Idaho, 72-68 here in Yuma. All right. Watching, let's go Broncos, watching from Middleton. All right, Brian Barnes, appreciate you watching from Middleton. Dayton Robinson, 75-73. The Broncos get it done today, according to Dayton. All right. when the Broncos retake the floor. We'll show you that here momentarily. Do want to hear from Leon Rice a little bit as well. Let's thank a few more sponsors here real quick, though. We still got 28 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time. We'll show you warm-ups, all kinds of stuff to show you, but do want to thank Taco Bell. TacoBellWorks.com, the SOM Management Group, the Crunchy Chicken Cantina Taco. The Crunchy Chicken Cantina Taco. It is tremendous from our friends at Taco Bell. Check out Taco Bell, Treasure Valley Taco Bell location for all their great options. Breakfast quesadillas, crunchy chicken strips, and more. Hey, the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. They got you covered with Boise State gear. Best selection, the best prices, the Blue and Orange Store online at theblueandorangestore.com. They got the 14,000 hats on the hat wall there at the mall location. Those customized jerseys at the downtown location at the Allen Noble Hall of Fame. And, of course, you can order anywhere in the world online, theblueandorangestore.com. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. Number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. When you're ready to buy or sell that home, Matt Bauscher and his team are ready to help you every step of the way. We bought and sold our home using Matt and his team, and I highly, highly recommend it. Not just because he's a sponsor or because he's a friend. It really was the easiest home buying, home selling experience. We've had a couple of them, bar none. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. Hey, if you need a new roof, Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Check out Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. Leave us a voicemail, speakpipe.com/BNN. Whether it's a re-roof or repair, an estimate, or an inspection, check out mysignatureroofing.com. Signature Roofing brings us our Signature Roofing scoreboard update. Again, brought to you by Signature Roofing online at mysignatureroofing.com. You see the Broncos taking the floor to some boos at the far end of the court. Again, if you just joined us, Boise State going with the home white uniforms today due to it wasn't really a conflict. Colorado State wanted to wear green, and Boise State was informed to please bring the whites, and Boise State chose the retro whites with the script Broncos and with the old school logo across the front. It'll be Boise State in the white uniforms. The far end of the court, it'll be Colorado State in the green uniforms at this end of the court for warm-ups. There's another game getting ready to start, and if you haven't heard, it is a big one. New Mexico at Utah State is also a 2 o'clock game. So we're going to, in all likelihood, know Boise State's seed as soon as they're done playing. That game, luckily, is at the same time, so we'll have a good idea on Boise State's seed for the conference tournament on the postgame show. 2 o'clock, New Mexico at Utah State. Boise State is at Colorado State. You got Wyoming at San Jose State. Fresno State is at Grand Canyon. And Air Force is at Nevada. Air Force, by the way, favored by 25.5 in that game over Nevada, who is 3-20. Nevada is favored by 25.5 over an Air Force team, which is 3-27 and 0-19 in Mountain West play. Skyship, see Spencer says W on the horizon. Skyship says watching from outside a Scout Cave, Tea Kettle Cave, Gooding, Idaho. All right, Sky. I know that he ripped it. I thought they had worn the old ones at home a couple times. I could be wrong, though. But I thought they did. But I could be wrong. Bold prediction. If they win tonight, they're going to win the Mountain West Championship Tournament. How about that? That would be quite the thing. And that'd be 5 in a row, and it would show that they'd be entering the tournament on a better hot streak than anybody else in the league, that's for sure. This team can beat anybody in the league the way they're playing. Draw doesn't really matter. Just win, baby. Bleed Blue is working at the airport. I don't know if that was the gentleman I met at the airport this morning. One of the TSA agents, tells you to come through the metal detector there, and then kind of was giving me the look, and I thought I had a watch or something on. Then he's like, "Oh, you're BJ Rains." Like, yeah, and we had a nice little chat. So I'm not sure if that's you or not, Bleed Blue, but enjoyed meeting the TSA agent this morning at the airport. Always enjoy when see you guys out and about and you say hello. It's always fun. Brent Havens, look forward to seeing you at Circa, Brent. Believe BSU plays more freely, not feeling the pressure of the home fans. They've played well on the road. 81-75 is the prediction for Brent tonight. All right, I'd like to play a little bit of Leon Rice here, but I got to play a commercial because I got to reload this thing. So here's Ben Ford, and I'm back in 30 seconds.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
All right, back here on the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show. As you heard, Lithia Ford of Boise, we appreciate them. I think we got it now. Let's hear a little bit. Again, keep getting your score predictions in. Keep getting your shout-outs in of where you're watching from, how you feeling about the game. Let's get the ICCU YouTube chat popping here. We're about 23 minutes from the clock hitting 0, and then they'll have some senior day festivities and things. But let's hear a little bit from Leon Rice while we show you warm-ups. This was him yesterday, less than 24 hours ago, talking about the matchup.
Just thoughts on the matchup and what you're up against.
Well, not just the league, probably the country. I mean, the streak they're on has been really, really amazing. And, credit to them. They had a tough January and then were able to flip it and had, one of the best Februaries in the country.
What have you seen during this stretch? Schedule's part of it, but obviously, why are they playing so well right now?
Well, they look like a team that knows their roles and they're playing like a team. And anybody that's playing like a team in March has got a chance. And, because it's a long grind to get to March. And, around the country, there's a lot of teams that aren't playing as teams. And credit them. They're clicking on all cylinders.
The first time you guys played them was kind of when your season kind of turned around a little bit, so to speak, and you started your kind of 10-3 stretch here and really kind of started playing better ball the last 7-8. You had that 4-game losing streak, and then you played them at home and won that game. Since the first time you played them till now, I know it seems like a long time ago, but what have you liked with the most about just how you guys have kind of come together?
Well, I was thinking back, that seemed long ago, but when we were playing, I think it felt like both of us had season on the brink. Like they were in a bit of a losing streak, I think, right? And so were we. I mean, it was a tough game, and both teams, they took the lead in the second half, which was after we had played pretty darn good. They hung in there and took the lead, and then we were able to go on a little run down the stretch, and just enough to hold them off. So it's a great game here, and they're, like you said, they're playing as good as anybody, and they're home, and their senior night. A lot goes into this game right now.
How much more confidence do you think your team could have going into the conference tournament if you beat a team that's this hot right now?
I mean, we're going to have confidence either way, no doubt. You can't let one way or the other. You always got to respond, whether you win, whether you lose, whether, all the stuff that can happen in a game. And so, it's about being able to, I think somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, but both teams are probably going to the tournament confident.
I feel like we'd always get honest answers from Max when we ask him stuff like this, because
you're right.
How much you watch basketball. What do you make of the chaos right now in the Mountain West, and how like the seeding and stuff, and anywhere from like 4 to 8, and there's one game left, and there's still so much to be decided.
Yeah. What do you call the animals that eat their own? What are those called? What's the word? Come on. Cannibals, yes. We have cannibalized each other. We really have. So that's that Washington State education right there. Yes. But really have, because, looking around the league, I think that's kind of what you saw. But it didn't take shape maybe until January, where you're like, oh, wow, they're playing good, and they're playing good, and they're playing good. Where a lot of teams, it's going to make interesting final week and a half.
Obviously you're aware of this, favorites, but I mean, there's a pretty big difference in who you could potentially play in your path, win or lose tomorrow. I mean, I know you want to win no matter you want to win every game no matter what, but are you aware, I guess, of kind of what a win versus loss might mean for how your road next week?
Yeah, and you can't overanalyze that. It always seems like over my career, like when I've overanalyzed, like, oh man, what the heck? We got to go to Creighton and play at Creighton for the bracket busters. Remember what was it called? The Challenge, the Missouri Valley Challenge. And I just remember being like, God, these other teams got games they could win, and Creighton was, top 10 in the country and 7-0. Well, it turned out to be the greatest hop ever. So, you just don't know. And when you try to read too much into things, and so I've moved on from that, where we're going to play whoever we play. And it's our job to be as ready as we can be, all that. So, you think you can plan it out, and you think, well, if we do this, then we got that, and that. Who knows? We'll see.
Is that a challenge as a coach to tell your players that, to just kind of block out looking at the standings?
Well, we've just done a good job with the process, but it's March. You want to keep playing, you got to play good. And it comes down to that, You want to play postseason, you got to play good. And, like I said, both teams are playing good. Somebody's going to end up on the wrong side of it,
If you look at like the last DA or like the last 6 weeks, he's averaging like 15 points. He's shooting over 45% from the field, somewhere in the low 30s from three, but still, all those numbers have really jumped, obviously, over, I'd say, the last 6 weeks. When you watch him play, like, what's the biggest difference between DA, maybe the start of Mountain West Conference play, and the guy you see, like, operating against San Diego State?
Well, the thing that we forget, and the thing that, that gets lost maybe a little bit, and maybe I even underestimated it, is he was out all fall. So he never really got to click with his teammates. Granted, he's an experienced player and played, but it was a different system, different teammates, different expectations, and there was some adjustment time. And I think that adjustment time could have been, pushed forward a little bit and happened quicker had he been able to practice with us in the fall. And so, that's maybe that delayed what we're seeing now. But it's a credit to him and his, his grinding and his work ethic and his being coachable. And, it also takes time to understand, everybody communicates differently, and he and I really started to connect, and same with him and the assistants, and to understand where they're coming from and how they coach and what we're looking at, because sometimes as coaches, especially, in a program like this where you retain a lot of guys and you develop a lot of guys, you can sometimes make some assumptions like, well, he knows what we're talking about. He knows why we run this play. Well, we've never really explained it to him, or he's never got the reps at it. And so that can delay, a guy's progress. And I think in this case, maybe that was a factor. But so proud of what he's doing now, and want to keep coaching him, want this thing to keep going.
I remember at one point in time you said, once you learn the system will set you free, right?
Yes.
So it feels like he's playing fast, but it felt like everybody kind of played fast against San Diego State. Is it, in terms of just like all the pieces starting to work together the way you envisioned?
Yeah, absolutely. And for us to be the team that we think we can be is we got to get all of them, and that's, our depth, everybody that comes in, if they can keep elevating it. And you've seen, we've had certain games when we've done that, and it had a big effect on the game, and that's what we need going forward.
Last time you guys played CSU was Jorgen's first game back. He came off the bench, I even think, in that game, right? Right?
It was whose game?
I'm saying his name. The best player. 35.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought you were talking about one of ours. Yeah.
That was his first game back.
Yeah.
He came off the bench, was kind of getting his rust off. You saw what he did against. He did against New Mexico. I mean, how much does he change things for them?
No, he's a great player. I mean, he was their leading scorer when he went out, and he was, and in their system, that position is basically a point guard. So you got a 6'11" point guard with this, as good a shooter and as skilled as anybody in the league. And so absolutely, that was a huge factor in, in a little bit of their struggles. And so, no, he's playing. I mean, probably that center position was probably the difference in the New Mexico game in their last game.
Yes, I was just saying, have you seen Drew have any sorts of extra pep in his step these last couple of days?
Well, he got new shoes, so that seemed to make him a little bouncier, I thought. Yeah, they're pretty too. They got a nice blue color.
All the jokes for Leon Rice saying, Sean Goodwin, Idaho Statesman, was asking if he saw a little extra pep in the step of Drew Fielder the last few days after his 33-point game, and he said, well, he did get some new shoes. Making a little joke there. All right, our favorite topic of the day, who are the officials? We'll get to the officials in just a moment. We do have at least one that you should recognize, one that it's a nice treat to have him on the game tonight. We'll tell you about a top 10 Ken Pom official in the building here at Moby Arena in just a second. But I do want to thank our last group of sponsors. That includes Element Fencing, elementfencing.com. Check them out. If you're on the fence about that fencing project, now's the time. 25-plus years in the fencing company. Brady, their owner, his staff, they're ready to take care of you every step of the way. Decks, cedar, wrought iron, pergolas, fences, they're ready to help you out, folks. All your fencing needs, let them build that project from the ground up. Tell them BNN sent you. Element Fencing, online, elementfencing.com, and they'll help us pick our Element Fencing defense player of the game, post-game. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Check them out, shopridleys.com. They got 13-plus locations, state of Idaho, surrounding states. Whether it's the Kuna location, Middleton, Magic Valley, McCall, they got you covered, folks. Ridley's Family Markets. Great prices, great selections, fresh products. Check out Ridley's Family Markets online at shopridleys.com. Hey, you got that painting project you've been thinking about? Now's the time. 20% off at rowpaint.com, that winter painting project. roepaint.com. Interior, exterior painting, those concrete coatings. They're ready, folks. That Painter for a Day project's a great one as well. Rowpaint.com. They're ready to help you get that project tackled in the short term. Rowpaint.com. If you're looking for a new job, Transportation Compliance Service has you covered. TCS, Transportation Compliance Service. They can help you get into the trucking industry every step of the way at Transportation Compliance Service. You can get into the trucking industry. They'll help you with the paperwork, DOT, everything you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Check them out. Transportation Compliance Service. All right, a live look. The teams have retreated to the locker room. 11 minutes on the clock. The crowd filing in. Supposed to be a real nice crowd. I don't think it's quite a sellout, but the corners should be open. But for the most part, it's supposed to be a real nice crowd here at Moby Arena for Boise State and Colorado State. If you're bracing for the words Scott Brown, you are not going to hear him in this broadcast. Scott Brown, not one of the officials. If you're hoping for no Amy Bonner, you'll be happy today. No Amy Bonner here at Moby Arena. Our three officials for today's game. Your lead official, he worked the UNLV San Diego State game last night in San Diego. Must have got a pretty quick flight over to Denver. The number 5 ranked official in all of college basketball, reffing his 95th game today, Keith Kimball. Keith Kimball, folks, routinely does all the Big 12, Big 10 games you see on TV. He'll be reffing the Final Four this year. One of the elite officials in college basketball. He finished as the number 4 ranked official last year and did the Houston Duke Final Four game. He was the number 5 ranked official and did the Purdue NC State Final Four official the year before that. Was the number 1 ranked official in America in 2023 and did the UConn San Diego State National Championship game. Keith Kimball, one of the best officials in all of college basketball, is your lead official here today for Boise State and Colorado State. He's an African-American official. You'll recognize him when you see him. Tremendous college basketball official. And Keith K in the house. Keith Kimball is your lead official. Now, the other two officials are both younger guys, but are both guys that have done Boise State games this season. You've got Luke Schumer. Luke Schumer is the number 90 ranked official at KenPom. Luke Schumer. So another top 100 KenPom official. This will be his 57th game. He's did the Summit League tournament on Thursday, the Horizon League tournament on Tuesday and Wednesday. He has officiated one Boise State game this season, and that was Boise State's win in overtime over Nevada. Boise State's win in overtime over Nevada. Luke Schumer was one of the officials that worked that game. Now, the third official is one of the youngest officials in all of college basketball. He officiated the Boise State win at the Pit at New Mexico. His name is Kevin Rayer. Kevin Rayer. I actually had a chance to sit next to him on the flight the next morning. He was going to Phoenix to see some friends for a day with the Waste Management Open. It was Super Bowl Sunday. I was heading back home to host a Super Bowl party. Kevin Rayer, he has only done 35 games this year. He is a younger official. He just did the Wyoming-Nevada game on Tuesday. That big win for Wyoming over Nevada. He did that game a couple nights ago, and then he was in Sioux Falls, South Dakota on Wednesday for the Oral Roberts UMKC game as well. Mostly does the Summit League and the MAC. Does get a few Mountain West games here and there. He's a very young official, but he's top 200 already at KenPom, number 197. And again, he did a pretty good job, I thought, in the Boise State, New Mexico game at the Pit earlier this season. So, best breakdown of officials in all of college hoops, PJ Raines, no doubt. There you go. Appreciate that, Johnny. Yeah, hopefully that was a good breakdown for you. Keith Kimball is excellent. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. So, got two younger officials with him, but I guess if you have one of the elite officials in college basketball as the lead ref, you're okay there. So, yes, Tom Moser will be going live tonight. John's asking, what about Tom Moser going live tonight? Yes, another night in the Mountain West. Tom Moser, he'll be live tonight after the final game. That'll be about 10 p.m. Mountain Time when Air Force in Nevada wraps up. Tom Moser will go live with another night in the Mountain West tonight. And then Monday night, join us. Monday night, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, Monday night, we're going to have a Mountain West preview show. Another night in the Mountain West previews the Mountain West tournament. All kinds of guests. We got Dan Dickow scheduled to join us. We got Kevin Sweeney from Sports Illustrated scheduled to join us. All kinds of guests, all kinds of fun. Monday, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Make plans to join us for another night in the Mountain West preseason special. And Tom Moser, again, will be live tonight after the final game wraps up. You see Boise State's players starting to make their way back onto the floor. Again, the script Bronco logo, the old school state of Idaho, and the Bronco horse logo on the shorts. Typically, the Broncos wear these uniforms at home, but Colorado State on senior night wanted to wear the green uniforms, and that means Boise State in the home whites here tonight. I'm going to pan the camera a little bit so you can see how massive this place is. A crowd filing in, but it is a very large arena. About 90% of the seats are on the sides of the arena. I think they call it a cauldron, the way it kind of funnels down, but most of the seats on the sides, and then there are a few seats on the ends. You've got the beer garden down there at the other end. That'd be a fun spot to watch the game. And then, of course, you've got the same thing on this side with the seats going all the way to the top there. And it really does funnel down towards the arena floor. Not a lot of room on the floor, as you see. And now the sirens are going off. The Rams getting ready to make their entrance. Let's let you watch the scene here at Moby Arena as the Rams get ready to take the floor. They got the guy with the boombox. It looks like the Aura, the manager. I'm not sure who that is, with the boombox, leading the team onto the floor here. They're making their way nice and slow, and here come the Colorado State Rams. Again, the Rams taking the floor here. We're getting closer to tip-off, so I got to end this thing fairly soon. They don't really like us going once the clock hits 0. No, their senior day stuff's going to be before the game. We've got 3 minutes on the clock. Appreciate all you guys for checking us out. Bronco Nation News, the only local media outlet aside from Bob and Abe on the radio side, KTIK, and the Bronco Radio Network. BNN's the only other outlet that made the trip here to Fort Collins. So show us some love, give us a like, give us a subscription on this video. And if you can help us out and subscribe, we'd love to have you. Bronco Nation News, BroncoNationNews.com. You can subscribe for 50% off the annual rate right now at BroncoNationNews.com. Full coverage, basketball, football, recruiting, you name it. Got you covered at BroncoNationNews.com. Mike Prater, Chris Van Sickle, Nathan Carroll, myself. You can chat for free in the message boards. Inside information, all kinds of great stuff at BroncoNationNews.com. And today, here on YouTube, you're getting a free show, free exclusive coverage of Boise State and Colorado State here at Moby Arena in Fort Collins. Again, the 60th year of Moby Arena was christened in 1966, and here it is now as Moby Arena 60 years later. Again, Boise State wins this game. They're the number 6 seed. They get a little easier path. They get to play New Mexico, San Diego State, teams they're 3-1 against. They lose this game, they probably fall to the 8 seed, or they are the 8 seed, where they'd probably have to play Grand Canyon and Utah State, who they're 0-4 against, and all 4 double-digit losses. So a lot riding on the line for this game here today. Boise State looking to win that 5th straight going into the conference tournament, looking to keep the momentum going, but more importantly, looking to continue and riding that momentum wave and go into the Mountain West tournament as the hottest team in the Mountain West Conference. Again, Bronco Nation News exclusive coverage here from the corner of Moby Arena. Appreciate all of you for making this part of your game day routine. Pre-game, post-game, it's on the Mountain West Network. Boise State, Colorado State, Mountain West Network. We'll be back post-game. Full Jackson's post-game show. Coach Leon Rice is going to sit right here. We'll have a player sit right here. Post-game interviews, post-game reaction, and we'll get you the seeds for the conference tournament. We'll get you the schedule, all that stuff. Clock's under a minute. They got some senior night stuff to do, and then we're going to kick this thing off. Less than 10 minutes over on the Mountain West Network. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Mountain West Network will have your call. Boise State, Colorado State coming up at 2 o'clock. Go subscribe if you can, BroncoNationNews.com. Again, my name's BJ Rains. Thank you guys for checking us out. 10 seconds on the clock. We'll count it down. Big one for Boise State. Are they going to get the 8 seed, the 6 seed? Are they going to be riding some momentum, riding into the conference tournament? Where it's time to find out here on Bronco Nation News. Enjoy the game, everybody. We'll see you on the post-game show. Go check out Bronco Nation News online, BroncoNationNews.com. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Hey Bronco Nation, this is Boise State football wide receiver Ben Ford. I've had to face some setbacks on the field this past season, but toughness isn't about staying down. It's about getting back up. I am proud to represent Lithia Ford of Boise, where you can find the largest selection of Ford trucks that are built tough and, like me, handle the hits and keep pushing forward. Come check out the incredible inventory and competitive pricing at Lithia Ford of Boise. And when you buy here, you're not just getting a truck, you're supporting Boise State athletics and Lithia Ford NIL partnerships. Come see us at Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Thank you.